Hey guys, so I'm just going to speak to you about some of the machines that have been coming out of DFE. So, my honest opinion, they've been real bad, like really bad. This particular laptop's like one of the cheapest you can get before you end up in that DFE territory. So, that's why I wanted to show you in a video what the insides look like, so you can actually see the difference between a DFE one and a budget laptop, just so that you know what's actually in these things. So just to open it up so you can see, it's an i3 8th gen. So the reason why I chose this one to show you, basically, all of the DFE CPUs are from around about late 2017, early 2018, which is the same time that this laptop came out. So the hardware itself is from the same era. So if we pop this open, you'll be able to say, we're going to pop this open. So I want you guys to see this. And then I'll show you 3 different types of DFE machines. So the DFE machines that have been given out to schools, they're basically glorified. I wouldn't even say glorified, I would just say they're just tablet hardware with an operating system on it, so you can install programs, but the processor and all the rest of that, it's all exactly the same as any of the Intel tablets you would have bought back then. And one of the reasons why they chose to do that was because they couldn't actually sell the devices they made. They couldn't sell the tablets, so it was like, well, we'll just sell them as machines. I mean, the thing is with Intel's marketing is it's very good. It's really good. It has been for years. The products haven't matched their marketing. But obviously, if you're not technology minded, you would not know. You're just going to see Intel and think you know what you're getting, but in actual fact, you don't. So on my one, all these different screws are all different lengths. I'm just trying to keep it together. Right, so they're all out. It's been a while since I popped this open. Right. Really not much to this thing, but the general layout of a laptop is here. So you got your storage. Yes, I've updated it in this one. Your M.2 storage. It's the main storage nowadays, but this also has the option for a conventional hard drive, which, I mean, there's plenty of room to have that option in there, but don't need it, not using it. And a memory slot. So this has memory built into the motherboard, but I've also expanded it for an expansion slot. Again, I'm not expecting one of these things on a DFE laptop. I didn't need it. 4 gigs more than enough. This makes a big difference, just having the storage instead of having it built into the motherboard. And we've got a processor here, heat pipe. The idea is, you've got your main processor, and you need to get the heat out of it so it can be blown out of the system, because it does generate some heat, even though it's a budget chip. This is what I would expect minimum, really, from the DFE giving to schools. So again, this laptop's not built to be part of a network. It's for individual use, which most DFE laptops really are. So there's no Ethernet ports whatsoever. Again, just wouldn't expect it. It's a budget laptop. So now I'm going to show you the footage of me opening the DFE laptop so you can actually see what was in them. Hey, so I've got 3 machines here. These are all the kind of stuff that the government's been handing out to schools for their the laptops to take home. We're going to be pulling all 3 of them apart to see if they're actually upgradable. One of them's the GeoBook, another one's a Lenovo. They'll be in the name of the video as to what model numbers they are and models, whatever. And an Asus. They're all low powered cores. I think one's an AMD, the others are, they call them Pentiums, Intel Pentiums, whatever they are, but they're technically Intel Atoms. They're the same processors, just obviously a smaller core size. Identical. So I've got 25 minutes to split all 3 of these open. I'm going to do my best to see if we can get through 25 minutes all 3 of these. So first one's GeoBook. So I'll crack that open. Well, very basic. I mean, like, you have no idea. I dare say some half decent phones have a bit of hardware than this. I mean, it's literally soldered equivalent to an ARM CPU on the board. That's literally all these things are, and they get given the name, especially these ones, Pentium or Intel or whatever, when they're actually just atoms, or I guess you could say glorified phone chips. So the answer to this question on the GeoBooks is no, you can't upgrade them, can't do anything with them at all, because it's not computer hardware, it's just glorified phone or tablet software, hardware with PC software. That's all it is. So that's one. I'm going to put this back together and pause the video. So that was the GeoBook. Next we have, let's do the Lenovo first. So this has a model number. So this one says Lenovo 100E 2nd gen. So pop this one open. And so this is just some of the machines that DFE have given out to schools. Not great hardware at all in these things. When they first started, they started with the HP ones. Those ones were decent. They're the ones that had the Athlon silver processors in them. These things are basically phone chips. I'm not so sure about the Lenovo one though, because that's got the AMD hardware on it, but we will see. So the hardware on this thing looks a little bit more, but still, again, still in the same region. There's nothing on here at all. There's nothing upgradable. The only other thing that's different in this one to the GeoBook is it has a spot for an M.2. It just didn't have the actual connector soldered to the board, which is really annoying because that could have been upgradable. Could have been. So then I'm guessing there may be some of these models that may be upgradable, or you might want to check because you might have an E101E, for example, on here, an E100E. An E101E, that would have been upgradable, for example. I'm not saying it is, just that's how it would have worked with these things. A lot more easier to put together than the GeoBook as well. Definitely physically built much better. So the next one is the Asus model. Sort of says a W202N. So we'll see if this one's upgradable. W202N, sorry, it's the model number on this. First impressions, it does feel fairly well built, but at the same time it also feels cheap, real cheap. So far I think personally the Lenovo feels the best, but with the worst texture on it. And this one's got the cheapest and most durable texture, which it's not going to age well at all. I don't think none of these will, but I'd definitely pick the Lenovo, I think, out of these so far, if I had to pick one of them. Now this one is going to be a pain because the actual keyboard and everything is actually part of two separate halves. It's kind of really annoying. This one's going to be a pain to put back together. Alright. So looking at this again, it's the same sort of thing, but the chip looks possibly different. It could be that we're just seeing the underside of it. But one thing's clear, there is no space in this to put an M.2, because if the M.2 was going to go anywhere, it probably would have been about here. There's a few bits that look like they could have been soldered on something, but oh, here we go, M.2. Oh, it's M2. It's M2, not M.2. It's a screw size. So none of these are upgradable, but there are some that are. But this one specifically is not. It's kind of really annoying. So none of these devices are reusable once the schools get their technicians to try and put on an operating system that's managed. I mean, no chance. that's that one. I think my camera stand's about to die, so whichever dies first, I'll cut the video there.